am a mocha mom, just like many of you, and it's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day. I'm telling you that because the thought came to me about what I wanted to say for this video, but I wasn't able to set things up so that everything's quiet. People are moving around and doing things, so please excuse any background noise you might hear. It's real family time here in the mocha household. But I wanted to share with you some thoughts I had about cleaning. A lot of you have asked me to do a homemaking video on cleaning. One of the things that happened for me that I think revolutionized how I do things, I'm one of those neat freak type people that need the house to be clean for me to function well, and I happen to be home a lot of the time since I work from home and I'm a homemaker. I'm homeschooling, as well as I do some contract work at times, but most of the time I'm home. So I have 5 children and a busy husband, which means sometimes he's flying through places and not having time to put things where they should go and making a mess. So how do I keep my house neat? And I keep my house fairly neat. Couple of things I've done that have really helped me. One, I've kind of relaxed a little bit. I told my friend one time that I'm one of those people that would really like my house to look like those magazine pictures you see in Good Housekeeping and, you know, just show place. And she told me, you know what, clean your house real good, fix everything just that way, and take a picture, blow it up and hang it up. That's the only way you'll get what you want. And you know, I didn't think that was funny at the time, but I think that's some really good advice. If you live in a family where there's more than just you or you and your neat freak husband, then chances are your house is not going to be perfectly neat at all times. However, if you organize your stuff so that there's a place for everything, and if you train your family to come alongside of you, and in training I mean you go through the steps, and people are making mistakes all the time. It's not an overnight thing, but you take the time that instead of doing everything yourself, you allow everyone to have a role in how things happen, then no matter how big your family is, you can have a relatively neat house. One thing that helped me, I read a book called Managers of Their Own Home. It's a book written by a homeschool mom that has a whole lot of children. I'm not sure if the book is still in print. I read it a long time ago. You can look it up on Amazon or see if you can find it online. It's called Managers of Your Own Home, or Managers of Her Own Home, or something along those lines. And it's a very detailed scheduling program that I had to adapt to myself. I pretty much picked it up because I wanted to schedule my homeschooling and my housework and everything together. But one thing that I took away from that program is that even the smallest child, if your kid is walking around, even if they're like a toddler, you can begin to train them to help you in the cleaning process. You can turn it, when they're really, really little, you can turn it into a game. You know, there's a song I would sing with mine that I'm sure many of you have heard before because I didn't make it up. It's called clean up, everybody, everywhere. Clean up, everybody, do your share. And it's like my motto in my house. We all live in the house. We're all functioning there together as a family, and we all have a responsibility to do our small part to clean it up. And if everyone does a little bit, it doesn't have to fall heavily on any one person. So from the time my kids are babies, I'm playing with them and saying clean up, and we're putting the toys back in a toy bin. Now you have to be organized enough to have a toy bin for them to put things in. Everything should have a place. And so I relax my standards to realize that at all times in the day, my house is not going to be perfectly clean. But for the kitchen, we have a cleanup time at 4 o'clock. By 4 o'clock, the kitchen is spotless. One kid is sweeping the floor. One kid wipes off the table. One kid loads and unloads the dishwasher. And one kid wipes all the counters down. So by the time I get in there and it's time for me to make dinner, my kitchen is clean. And I did that strategically because there's nothing that stresses me out more than to walk into my kitchen and it's a catastrophic mess. Now, in order to get my kids to cooperate with that, I had to, you know, train them to understand that I'm not ruining your fun. I'm not cutting into your playtime. We're all together we're living in this house as a family, and we all have to do our share. And I've taught them that, and I reinforce that. And if people don't do what they're supposed to do, I have a clear consequence that I understand and they understand, and I stay consistent with follow-up. So that's what I do. And on Saturdays, we have a chore day where everyone has something that they do. And I'm training my kids. I'm training them to know what to do as an adult, so that when they get to college, they're not learning how to do laundry for the first time from one of their friends, you know, or eHow or whatever they would do these days. Probably get on the internet and learn how to do whatever you need to do. But I'm training them to do it. So I rotate them out of chores, and everyone can do something. A very small child can take the wastebasket out of the bathroom and go dump it in the kitchen garbage. They can do that when they're really small. When they're really, really small, they can walk around with a dry paper towel dusting and wiping surfaces free of dust. They can do things like, and you know, everyone can do one small thing, you know. And so that's basically what I do. On Saturdays, we have the grand chore day where I have my daughter cleans the bathrooms. My son goes around and vacuums every room. He sweeps all the floors. I've got my 8-year-old who goes around and dusts everything. She knows that she has to go down to the basement and make sure all the toys are picked up, so that when my son comes down, you know, he can vacuum. And they all responsible for cleaning their own rooms. I'll make another video about my laundry system, because the only laundry I do is I do laundry for the baby, and I do laundry for my husband and I. My kids do their own laundry. So that's something else I'll do a video on. But just to let you know that if you all work together, it doesn't have to be a burden for anyone. And if you lower your expectations and allow your house to be lived in, you can have certain times of the day, and you can strategically plan it out when you can have that, you know, catalog look and feel to your home without it interfering with your family. In my house, after dinner, everyone has to make sure everything's picked up. So by the time the kids go to bed and my husband and I are relaxing, the house is nice and clean. So anyway, those are my tips, and I hope that helps someone. Be blessed.